Hello Epic 7 newbies, this is Suspect Amy, and I'm here to do a quick video about my attempt to get one of these sweet Legend Arena frames since the season officially ends tonight. If I finish in the top 100, I'll get this puppy right here. But if I can somehow squeeze into the top 30 or top 3, I can pick up one of these bad boys. Think of how hip and cool I'll look strutting around with this. If someone writes a comment in my video that says, "Amy, I think you're wrong about blah blah blah," I'll just whip out my Legend frame and say, "Actually, my little friend here says I'm right." So, do I think I'm one of the top 30 players in Epic 7 Arena? No, definitely not. My account has only waifus, so I'm at a bit of a disadvantage. But there's one reason why I think I may actually have a chance this season.
The frames are fire. I kind of wanted to go for it, but the arena is so toxic this season that I'm just going to be satisfied with my Conqueror's frame.
Exactly. If even Tristan Wolf thinks the arena meta is absolutely toxic, then I bet a lot of other players do too. They may be sitting this season out, which gives a small opening for my waifus to squeeze into the ranks. I heard getting a Legend Arena frame is an absolute slog, which requires you to burn Skystones non-stop up until the deadline. At a certain level, your defense is hit like 5 times for every attack you make, so small things like breaking win streaks are pretty devastating. Not to mention the gear gap I'm fighting in Legend is insane. There are 0 Renex under 325 speed up here and I'm cleaving, so I'll be praying to the RNG gods quite a bit. But I'm up for the challenge. It's time to show those pesky Genesis Russ, Setsukas, and Lady of the Scales who's boss. I'll do a walkthrough on the heroes and strategy I use to make my climb, but I want to mainly focus on which Legend defenses I avoid like the plague. I'll start here. I'm rank 47 and an Emperor 1. Here's my primary team, and it's built exclusively to fight Lady of the Scales. Luckily for me, there are almost 0 defenses that think outside of the Lady of the Scales box. Summer Hua, a really fast Conqueror Lilias, Veronica, and Astromancer. I'll explain the mechanics of how they solve a lot of the Lady of the Scales defenses during the battle, but there are a few swaps I make for certain situations. If I fight a Genesis Ras, I need to swap Veronica for Briar Witch. If I fight a Frieren, I need to swap Astromancer with Belian. If I fight a Harsetti, then I need to swap Conqueror with Aram. That's about it. I'll show off all of my hero stats at the end of the video. Looking at this first set of defenses, all of these have Genesis Ras, which means I have to bring Briar Witch. That instantly rules out fighting this third team, because I won't have Veronica's speed imprint. The odds of me outspeeding Renak are pretty much 0. The other 2 are identical, but I can usually win this battle unless I get bad RNG, so let's dive in. My Conqueror Lilias is pretty fast, at 311 speed, so the turn order that will happen is Lilias S3 and S2, Soulburn Hua's S3, Astromancer's S3, and Soulburn Briar Witch's S3. I know that sounds confusing, but I'll explain as we go. Summer Hua has an artifact that cuts through Lady of the Scales' damage sharing buff. She gets triggered if anyone on my team does a non-attack skill like this one. However, Lilias also applies vigor to the team, which causes a second trigger to happen, which gives Hua the next turn. Souls are crazy important on this team, which is why pretty much every hero outside of Hua has some sort of soul-generating artifact. Hua gets the next turn and we can soul burn her S3 for more damage. Hua also has a mechanic where she pushes the back row up in the turn order, so placing Astromancer here with at least 200 speed is extremely important. Sadly, Hua doesn't do enough damage to finish off Lady of the Scales, so this may be an issue. Astromancer only has 2 jobs. One is to make sure Setsuka, BBK, Ross, Bystander, and whoever else doesn't counterattack, and she does that just by being on the field. BBK counters can one-shot Hua, and Ross counters push him to cut your cleave, so these must be stopped. Elena's second job is she needs to do enough damage to proc offering on Genesis Ras. This puts him in prime position to get eliminated by Briar Witch. I actually got extremely lucky here. Elena's S3 also has a strip, and she was able to remove immortality from Ras. If she didn't do that, I would have lost for sure. But I eked out the win. What's next? We can fight the exact same team again. This is what it looks like when things go smoothly. Wow, a Mort defense. That's just weird. Since there's no Setsuka and Mort basically prevents Roz from counterattacking and cutting my cleave, I can bring someone like Frieren for more damage. Easy. Yulha. I avoid like the plague. She's so strong against Summer Hua that it basically breaks my entire strategy. Since they don't have a Genesis Roz on Team 2, I can bring Veronica's speed imprint and try to outspeed Renak, but that's still very risky. I'll play it safe and play into this bystander team. I'll re-add Astromancer to make sure no one counterattacks. The only time this gets dicey is if I miss on bystander several times. That didn't happen here, so it's an easy win. My worst nightmare, 3 Rinox. I need to find a team that doesn't have Genesis Ross on it so that I can bring Veronica. Oddly enough, none of these do. It's just a blind guess on whether or not I can outspeed one of these guys with a 321 speed Lilius. Let's try this one. Whew, that was close. The only thing worth noting in this fight is for newer players. The reason Veronica works well into Lady of the Scales is because she automatically removes immortality from the enemy team whenever she gets a turn. The reason she doesn't work against Genesis Ross is because he also revives, which Briar Witch prevents from happening. Okay, rank 26. Let's rock. I'll avoid Renak if I can. The other 2 teams are more or less identical to deal with. I'll fight the team without Setsuka. That will remove the evasion RNG. Rank 24, more of the same. Obviously, I'll pick the team that doesn't have Renak. This is identical to the team I just fought. Finally, I'm Legend. Rank 24, let's keep going. I'll take out this BBK defense mainly because in Legend, a lot of these Lunas are 315 speed or higher. Them going first will disable Summer Hua's kit and ruin my cleave. Both of those teams will need Briar Witch to prevent revives, which puts me at 10 speed slower, so that's very, very risky. While this fight is happening, I have to complain about the lack of damage-dealing speed imprints for females. Husbandos get all of the Shuris, the Sids, and Vildred. What do waifus get, like Fire Tieria and Mercenary Helga? Come on, Smilegate. Please add a waifu speed imprint that can actually clobber someone. This is so not fair. 3 Renox, no Genesis Raz, so this will just be a dice roll if I can pick one that I can outspeed. Woo, got lucky again. Easy peasy. 9-game win streak. Okay, I'll just avoid the Renox. That is very, very clever. They purposely made their BBK the highest defense on the team to bait Summer Hua. This is crazy. I already have a bad feeling about this. Triple miss on my Soulburn S3. See what I mean? There is only a 30% chance to miss, but RNG got me. I am pretty sure this is a loss. Once Setsuka and Mirror Witch get a turn, there's really no chance for me. Let me try these guys again for some revenge. There is no way I can get this horrible RNG twice, right? This is too easy. They didn't even get a turn. That's insane how RNG between two of the exact same battles can go back and forth like this. But that's just Epic 7, right? I'll speed through a couple more because I want to get into handling a few other defenses. This weird guy with Mort instead of Setsuka. This has to be the worst defense in Legend. I don't even know what his plan is here. Easy win. Okay, 2 Freerens and a Yulha. Yulha is obviously a hard pass, but let's try this top team. With Freeren, you have to swap out Astromancer with Bellion. This puts me at risk to Ross possibly counterattacking and cutting my cleave. Let's pray this guy isn't smart enough to be on counter set. That's bad news. So this is why it's important that Iseria is on immunity. If she isn't, then Ross will seal her and prevent her from gaining immortality. Not pretty, but we pulled through. Rank 19. My only option is the top one, and you guys know why. Look at this defense. What the heck happened? Did they forget to add Lady of the Scales? Let's give this a whirl, just for fun. Yikes, I barely outsped their Renok by the skin of my teeth. Easy peasy. What's next? Like I said, I want to avoid going into a Luna without Veronica for the same reason I avoid Renok. Let's try this bottom team. I'm getting lucky against Renok so far. Yikes, another RNG win for Auntie Amy. Easy peasy. Skip Renok here. Wow, this is a 315 speed Lady of the Scales here. This is pretty much game over for me. I have been playing with fire for a while trying to outspeed in Legend with only 321 speed, so I kinda deserved this. Okay, fast forward a bunch of battles and now I'm rank 10, but this is the first Harsetti I've seen in Legend Arena and there are 2 of them. I want to quickly cover how to handle her and then wrap this up by showing off my builds. Obviously, we will not be fighting the Yulha defense. She's way too scary. Against Harsetti, you want to have pretty much the same team, but you want to rearrange them a bit. The reason is because you want Hua's S3 to push Aram in the back row. Aram can usually repush Summer Hua again so that she can S3 back to back, and there aren't many teams who can handle that. Easy peasy. Anyways, this is the strategy I'll be using this evening to make my big push for a top 100, or maybe even a top 30 frame. If anything, this video will help you build the perfect defense to counter my cleave. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye everyone.